Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me for this Instagram Live on the official ELMS Instagram account. Now, just like last week, I'm going to be chatting with one of the drivers today. I'm going to give you a few clues first. Firstly, he drives in the LMP2 category. He drives for United Autosports, and his teammate is Phil Hansen. Last clue, he's Portuguese. Yes, Filipe Albuquerque, he should be online. In fact, I saw him, and we are going to try and get connected to have a chat with him. Here we go.
Olá, bom dia.
Bom dia. That's my Portuguese, ended right there. How are you doing, Filipe?
Very good. I mean, in quarantine, obviously, but I'm doing fine with the family at home. So, yeah, all good.
So what is it like in Portugal? I mean, what are you allowed or not allowed to do?
No, basically, so we are on alert, study alert. So basically, we should only be allowed to leave home to do the groceries for the house, the minimum what you need, and as well like healthy outs. So I go once a day out with the girls near where I live. So just to the garage where there is very little people, and we don't socialize, so we keep the distance, and we don't get-togethers together with the other people or family. So to respect to respect the propagation of the virus. So that's how we are. Everyone is.
Right, so yeah, it's exactly the same. I'm in France and it's exactly the same. I just know that some countries are a little more lenient. We spoke to Sophia last week and she's like, no, I just go out on my bike, go having a run and, live it. It's kind of normal, I guess, but
True.
So, I mean, how have you been kind of like keeping busy? Because obviously this confinement, especially as a professional athlete, it's really quite, it's even harder because, you're obviously itching to go out and do sports and stuff. So, I mean, how have you been keeping active?
Yeah, but to be honest, I tell you what, actually, I think I need some holidays after this because I have two little girls and they keep me so busy. So from 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock, I'm flat out of doing everything. And then every half an hour that I'm not with them and they're playing alone, they create such a mess that I will do 1 hour or 2 hours of putting back everything together. So I'm being exhausted. So I try to train myself to keep the training, but it's super hard because training is one thing, but then because I never rest, I get completely destroyed. And going down, grab some toys, coming up, putting up and squats and like this. So super busy with that. But from 10 on, it's my quality time with the third Joanna, and we can relax, silence, it's amazing. And I've been playing a lot as well in the simulator. With the real race car drivers. And actually Phil Hansen is waiting for his one, so we're going to race more in there.
Fantastic.
And, so I'm having actually fun. Actually, I've been having some races with Joop van Uitert, that is the new member of United, and we have similar paces, a little bit quicker than me, but we often race each other, and it's been good fun.
I guess that's one thing that's come out of this confinement is the explosion of eSports, and just really, I mean, especially in motorsports, it's absolutely outstanding how it's just really kind of it's taken on such a propensity, and everyone is really getting into sim racing, which is great to see because, for us at home, it's great to really be a part of and join, and, it's really kind of interactive. I mean, how would you say you're kind of doing with the sim racing?
I always liked the sim racing. I had my gear and I have everything prepared at home since 2014 when I bought my gear. And since then, I played a little bit there, but then the last 4 years, I've not been playing because I've been super busy racing in real life with different categories, WEC, IMSA, ELMS, and all this. So whenever I come home and with the girls, it's just impossible. But now I went back to it. I just took the dust out of it and went back to racing. And I was just amazed how far I was to most of the guys, to the top guys. And I started to invest and, Fanatec steering wheel and Simtag pedals and all these things. all the tricks and details that these guys are doing is just insane. It's just
Right.
insane, and it's amazing to see that these companies, they are completely overloaded now with jobs. So it was hard to get the material in time, and I love it. But again, you need the right material, a little bit like in real life, you know. If you don't have the car, you don't go fast.
Yeah, so the setup is obviously super important, as you say, and obviously getting your hands on it is not the easiest thing at this time, but it's obviously great to see that you're kind of, you know, finding alternatives and really getting, as you say, you're potentially maybe with Phil, you haven't actually raced against him yet, right?
Not yet. He just ordered it, and I said,
okay,
you have to order it, because in the end, and you know, in the beginning, I'm going to tell you this because it's kind of funny, because in the beginning of the confinement, we were like kind of 6 or 7 drivers. And then by the end of that week, we were like 45 drivers racing from real life. And I was racing every night and practicing during the night. And Joanna, my wife, was saying, well, before you were away because you were racing, and that I understand. But now you are at home, and I was expecting to be more time with you. And actually, I'm not, because you are always at the sim, racing and practicing and doing stuff. And I said, okay, boys, and then I had to put some brakes in there, and then I had to calm down a little bit. Otherwise, yeah, my wife would go crazy.
but you've managed to dig it out, and you're on it again, so that's absolutely, it's great to hear, and it's great to kind of follow your progression on social media, and we are really looking forward to you and Phil kind of duel, so keep us updated with that. We cannot wait.
Definitely.
Just with a message to everyone who's following us and watching this, don't hesitate in sending your questions. We do have a few questions already, which I'll ask at the end. But yeah, so anyone, please don't hesitate in asking a question. If you see the little question mark at the bottom of the screen down there, then just press and just put your question in, and I will obviously ask Filipe. So, firstly, ELMS 2020, what do you think of the grid?
Well, amazing, actually. Again, great lineups, great ambition from many drivers, and drivers upgrading from the LMP3, drivers swapping around with more experience, drivers being upgraded, and you know, the gentlemen getting better and better, so the level is just getting higher. Phil getting even to a higher level of experience, and now it would be our first complete year with an Orica, which we were really looking forward to it, because we really believe we could be fighting for the title again, which we were actually in the past seasons, even with the Lige. But yeah, I was super pumped about it. So let's hope that we can still, you know, do the ELMS this year with those 5 races that ELMS announced. So I'm just thrilled about it, and you know, I'm just keeping my fingers crossed and doing my work and motivating people to stay at home, to go back to the normal life, because I think when we are more in confinement and in home, we give more value to the life we have. And obviously, you know, the quality time with your family is super important, but then I'm a fortunate guy to do what I love, and I love racing more than I thought.
Oh, that's good to hear. I completely agree. I'm currently looking at your cupboard. There we go.
Yes, it is. I had to lock
so
myself on my room, otherwise my girls would be shouting around.
I am in exactly the same boat, and in fact, I have 2 young daughters myself, and I can completely empathise with you there. In fact, everything you said at the beginning of the interview, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm living the same thing. So it's reassuring to know that you're going through the same thing.
Yes, yes.
I was actually going to go and mention that, the kind of the car switch, and how it kind of went for you, because you know, the end of the end of last year, you got some great results. I mean. I'm kind of putting 2 and 2 together here. Obviously, how are you feeling in the car? Tell us about how the switch went and how you felt.
Well, it was just the difference between cars was big, and we had to learn about it. And luckily, we had as well the WEC, which is the same format, and most of the drivers would be on the same level. They are the same, like Nicolas Pierre. We are fighting to him in ELMS and as well in the WEC. as well Will Stevens and so on.
Right.
And we had ups and downs, which Spa was amazing. We were like qualified 8 tenths ahead of everyone, and we completely dominated the race. Portimao, we were doing great, but then there were some other guys like on the same level or even a little bit faster. So we were not massively fast because we were thinking, oh, we're going to completely win this, but it's not completely not like that. So obviously the competition is very, very good. And so we enjoy to be, when you do your best job and you feel confident on the car and you do a perfect race, now we can win, which in the past, that was a bit cruel to us, to the United guys sometimes, to Phil Hansen, which was putting a great driving in some races, but not taking the credit out of it because we were finishing P3, maybe P2, but that was the most what the car could do. And now we are on the same level as the others, so we feel like there is now no excuses not to win, because we will never say, well, we didn't win because, no, if we don't win, it's because our fault, clearly. But we were never afraid of that, so that's why we did the switch, because we knew we could do it.
Okay. Firstly, what would be, I mean, you've obviously discussed the fact that now you've got no more excuses. Your goal for the season, I mean, I'm assuming it's #1, right?
Yes, it's not even second place, definitely not. But in racing, in motorsports and in sports, there is never a win, guaranteed win, never. And but what you can do is to maximize your percentage to win. So you need a good car, a good engineer, a good mechanics, a good teammates that gel together, and then they match together, and they match together. And so if that thing together works, you have a high chances to go. But then obviously there is those points that you can have like a bad luck here, bad luck there, that you can control, which was some of our races. In actually the first race with Orica, which we had a technical problem with Phil Hansen driving, and we had to retire after 1 hour, which it happens. But then we turned around and it was just better, and that's what we are looking for, definitely to win it. And let's see what the races will come, what will bring us.
And of course, you've got everything you need, everything necessary. It's just getting on top of that podium. So
very true.
That's all that's left to do. Talking about your teammate Phil, I mean, how would you define your relationship? How do you guys get on?
Very well, very well, very well. It's like a younger brother of mine and a very good friend. I really admire him because his determination, and he's been training so hard lately and on the gym to be prepared, so when he can do the difference and go on, he will be ready. And sometimes we just forget how young he is. His evolution since I met him has just been amazing. Since 2 years ago, what he was and what he is now, and his perception. And he could be those young kids that I know what I have to do and blah blah blah. When we are young, we all know what we have to do, and rarely we listen to the older guys. But he's doing a great job on that, and he's humble, and so basically he has all the ingredients to become a really very good driver. And actually the proof is that he's doing well, and some of the stints that he's been doing, it's just been incredible. Like Portimao last year, driving so many hours and putting good fights to the top guys, and Spa even closing down the gap to Gomendi, which is a old fox like me, on the grid, and winning the race, which was amazing for him. And and the pace is getting better and better. So it's only good things I have to say about him, obviously.
Of course, and he's got a great mentor as well. So you can give yourself a pat on the back as well for that.
I try my best.
I mean, in terms of strategy, what are the differences, would you say, being in a lineup of 2 as opposed to 3 drivers?
Well, it's a bit harder for sure, and especially for Phil, but that's exactly what he wants as well, to boost him up to be better. So we have way more time on the car, especially in free practice, so we don't have to share with the third one, so we drive more. Phil, in a race, he has to drive a lot. Some of the stints, some of the strategy, he was doing like 3 or 4 stints in a row, depending on the strategy, if it comes a yellow or not. And that was super demanding. Like, I don't ever forget, like last year, no, not 2018, when we won. He did 3.5 stints in Portimao, which was super hard.
Right.
1.5, and it was hard. And I was like, damn, this guy's really fit. And so that's the heavy part for having only 2, because if you have only 3, it's a no-brainer. You know, one time someone starts and another one finishes, and there you goes, 1.5 stints for each, and something like that, and you go. But for that, it's different. Sometimes we decide for him to do his complete time in a row, and sometimes he starts and finishes. Obviously, it never makes sense for me to start the race. So for that, it gives me more experience to start all the races, and in the near future, it will be qualifying as well. So let's see how it goes, but definitely that's the idea. And because he's driving more than free practice, it will be supposedly more ready than others.
Okay, so hypothetically, if you could or felt, wanted to choose a third teammate, who would it be and why?
It's hard. It's hard to say. I've been lucky enough to have really great drivers in the past. Well, there is still as well Will Owen in the other car, which I came along well, and he learned a lot, and he's one of the guys that I would like to have. But then talking into a platinum as well. I'm good friends with Oliver Jarvis, Bruno Senna as well. There is so many guys that I could choose from, but that it's doing well. And Paul Di Resta, we are doing well in as well as the teammates. So yeah, it's hard to pick one. It's hard to pick one, and for sure, if they are listening, I will have problems.
Well, your duo seems to work very, very well. So just don't be reassured. We won't be, putting any pressure on you to kind of
yes.
your mates. So I'm going to go on to some of the questions. We've had a lot of questions from fans.
Okay.
So I'm going to go through them now, see what we have. Now, firstly, here's from no, this should work. This is from one of your locals, I guess. I mean, from around near you. Gonzalo Brites, what is the best and cheapest way of starting a racing career?
Definitely the best way, and there is only the only way. It's not the only one, but the best way is to start in go-karting. Go-karting, normally it's always cheaper than other things. And go-karting, you have different levels, obviously. It's the cheaper way. It's hard to say that, but if you start in a local regional championships, and if you beat your competition closer to you, so you don't go to big things and to big inscriptions to go to the championships, you can start to filter yourself there. Because first of all, you need to test yourself. What's your talent? What's your skill with? And then from then on, you go up and up and up, and you take your time. Because if you go straight to a national or an European championship, you're going to be killed, like anyone would be, because first you need to gather the experience. So you need to start on low, and then you go from there.
Right, and it's also the most accessible way of doing it as well, isn't it? Of starting out as well. Okay, next question. This is a good one. What is your best achievement in your career in endurance? That's from Thierry Cis.
All right. So I believe in terms of ultimate result, I think it's the 24 Hours of Daytona, the win. I'm still chasing like hell all the other ones that I would love. That would be the 24 Hours of Le Mans. This year would be great because I had a car to fight again for the win. But yeah, I have to mention 24 Hours of Daytona, which is one of the biggest races in the world with endurance. And it's a must to have, and and I have already 2 watches, so I won it twice.
So there we go. You have 2 greatest achievements. And this is an interesting one, technical one. What car balance do you prefer to drive? That's from Miguel J. Bento.
Okay, so basically I like neutral or of a little touch of oversteer. Actually, I've been changing a little bit over the time, and to be more aggressive. A touch of oversteer, it's a car that is faster, but requires more attention, you need to be more focused because you can do easily a mistake.
Right.
Normally, a touch of understeer, it's a bit better for endurance, for 24 hours of Le Mans, for example, because it's a more forgiving car, but normally it's not the quickest. But lately, the fields of, whatever, ELMS, whatever you go, it's super competitive, so I prefer speed out of comfort zone.
Okay. Next question. Okay. Well, Fernie Weckney, would you prefer to drive LMP2 or GT?
Well, I never drove a GTE, which is crazy. I never drove a GTE. Everyone tells me that it's pretty good. So I must say first LMP2, because it's closer to a Formula. It's lighter, it's stiffer, it has downforce, and I don't have to look to the mirrors as often.
Good answer. Right, this is a good one. Right there. Will you stay racing online platforms after the COVID-19 is over and real racing is back? So why are you going to continue sim racing on online platforms after the COVID is over?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Most likely, yes. It will depend how busy I will. At the moment, because I'm doing 3 championships, I think I start in the end of June, if everything goes well, and I will have 1 free weekend, and between end of June and September. So I will be very busy. So if I come home and I go to sim racing in between the 2 days that I'm home, I think my wife and my daughters will kill me, and maybe they will break my simulator. But so I don't drive. But yeah, I want, because actually I have really good fun, and with the normal people as well, which sometimes I prefer to race with them than real race car drivers, because we are way too optimistic.
So yeah, it's just dependent on your agenda for this year.
Yes, definitely.
Of course, if you manage to keep it away from your wife and kids.
Exactly.
Right. What? Actually, I've really right. So there's this is from a chap called don't know if you've heard of him. He's called Phil Hanson.
All right.
He wants to know what is it like sharing a car with such an amazing guy, driver, or all-round legend?
Yeah, Paul is a great driver. Paul Di Resta is amazing. He's a guy with a lot of experience. Yeah, and Phil is the baby. Yeah, but yeah, you kids. It's once you are listening, yeah, you have a long way to go still to beat here the old fox.
There you go. I hope that answers your question, Phil. Okay, actually, was one that was quite good, but it was in Spanish, and I translated it. But
yeah, you can throw it over, and I read it.
Okay.
Nos gustaría saber. We would like to know how many races you have raced so far in your life. Good question. I have no clue. I've raced in many cars so far. Renault 2 liters, Renault 3.5, GP2, LMP2s. It's hard to keep track on it. It's really hard to keep the track, but many.
So many. Actually, I translate it as how many cars have you had throughout your life. So that was good that you translated it, because my translation was awful.
Don't worry.
Okay, let's have a look. If there's anything... Okay, that's a nice one. Anna Ventura, how much do you miss racing in real life?
I miss a lot, because I started since 7 years old going to race car tracks, and I never stopped more than, I don't know, a month or 2 since then, because the only time I was stopping, it's the normal break time that it happens, which now it's been close to 2 months. But especially the last years, because, the normal championship starts in October and starts in January with Daytona, I've not been long time, and normally there's always some testing. So, like I said before, I'm struggling a lot with that feeling, with that boost, that adrenaline, that, keeps me sharp, and as well for my normal race life, because, training hard for some goals. And I think everyone in life, you need a goal in your life to train for something, put your mindset for something that, makes you wake up to do something. As in confinement, Monday will be like Sunday. So
Yeah.
for me, it's kind of hard to keep the motivation, but obviously, we have the kids and we need to teach them the good manners and go around.
Have you ever been at home for this long a period without driving? I'm talking
No.
about like driving
Well,
racing.
without driving, it's kind of, well, before when I was doing, if you just do a normal championship, let's say, it stops in October and starts only in April, right? So normally it's more time. But normally you have testing, winter
And
testing.
practicing, right?
Yeah, so you know that it's soon. And it's just different to stop in December when it's raining and it's cold and it's Christmas. But when it's good weather and you're going around and nothing is happening, it's just different.
It's frustrating.
It is very.
Yeah. Right, this has been asked a lot. These are in the comments. Estoril or Portimao?
A hard one, very hard one. Portimao, I like the uphills and downhills and blind corners. I like that, and yeah, but I cannot say that I don't like Estoril. So I go for the one that I won the most. I think I won more races in Portimao than in Estoril, so maybe it goes to Portimao.
I have a WEC official that's asked, what's this WEC thing?
Yeah, WEC.
So tell us about WEC so far. Great start to the championship this year. Great start to the year in February.
Well, yeah, more or less. Well, yes, okay, 2020, yes. Because I'm just thinking because the start of the WEC was not great because we
right, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, pre-confinement,
yes,
the fact you've got to say something.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, in WEC, in the World Endurance Championship, so for you to know, the championship is going great. We had a setback in the first race and actually in the second race, but we still managed to score some points, and now we are the leaders of the championship, and the confinement happened. So if the championship stops now, we are the winners, but obviously we don't want that. We want to go back again. Especially because we have a great lineup, and we know. Okay. Yeah, something happened.
Yeah, we know. Sorry, you cut out at we know.
Okay, sorry. So we know we have a great lineup, and we can go for a win in every races. We have great chances. So it's going fantastic, and I was really looking forward for Sebring because Sebring, it's a race that I really want to win, and somehow I scored already three podiums or something, but I never won it. And this year I could have do it, where I had big chances to win it, but well, it didn't happen. But again, WEC did great adjustments. It seems like kind of good and reasonable and realistic adjustments. To do Spa, Le Mans, and Bahrain. So I highly likely that will happen. So let's hope that I will race there and have more wins. And definitely, I hope that I win the WEC for sure.
But obviously, I mean, starting off the season with a win, no matter what championship it is, it always puts you in good stead and always in a kind of a good momentum for the rest of the season, right? So I mean,
for sure. Yeah, winning it doesn't matter the championship, doesn't matter where it is. Winning is winning, and no one will take you the credit out of that. And boost the drivers, boost the team, the engineers, everyone, and that's confident. It's fantastic.
So sorry, I'm just looking through the. Do you have any?
Of course.
Oh, this is a good one. I like this. This question. It's Uniher 46.
Okay.
Do you have any rituals before the race? And how do you stay focused?
So rituals, yeah, I do have some rituals. I use the same underwear for the race days. I
am not even commenting on that. Okay.
I have those ones. And then I only use black visor. I don't use like a blue visor or whatsoever, or clear. I'm really standard classic guy on that. What else? Yeah, and pretty much I don't go crazy on some other things. I just like it, keep it simple. Yeah, and I stay focused really. Like it's easy for me to stay focused because I'm doing what I like.
Right,
And
of
you know,
course.
in school I was struggling a lot to be focused because I just hated to be there. And but I have to be there. And but in racing, it just comes natural. When you are doing what you like, it's just easy.
It's the passion that keeps you focused.
Definitely.
Right. I am going to. Right. This is a technical question with regards to sim. Which simulators and sim equipment do you use, and how close to the real thing is it?
Okay, so I use a thematic base structure.
Right.
So which yeah, is a guy that makes the complete structure to. So I placed there my DTM seat. When I retired there, they gave me the seat so I could put on the sim, and then I have the steering wheel from Fanatec and the pedals from Team Tag. Well, nowadays, like for example, these pedals, they're much closer to the real life because I can apply a lot of forces. So it's
And
very
that's your
close.
newest acquisition, right? The pedals.
Yes,
They're the
yes,
ones that you got. Okay, right.
exactly. It's my new acquisition. But I'm playing iRacing. It's very, very good to know the tracks. The tracks are amazing. The detail is very, very good. The platform of playing with other guys is as well very easy and friendly and nice. Again, in the end of the day, a game is always a game because it's hard to match the real life because the grip normally in the simulator, well, most likely the simulator, it's always constant inside line, outside line, and in real life the track goes changing during the session because the rubber goes to one place and not the other, and the bottoming you feel a little bit more, the oversteer you feel a little bit more. There is some feelings that in real life you have more than the simulated. It's hard to do. Even when I'm going to a simulator like a professional one, which has the sensors and all that, in the end, after 2 or 3 runs, I'm playing the game, not the real life. And so we need to be clever of how to be faster on a simulator and not naturally fast as the real life. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that. You said there are so many more variables
Yes.
in real life than
Yes.
on a sim because
Yeah.
it's so consistent. I mean, the fact is it has to kind of have a logical wear and tear. But it's obviously there are so many more variables in real life. So yeah, no, I completely understand. You're very clear. Now I won't just any more questions. Here we go, and we have one. Is there a chance of you keeping up with the Costa? You need a bronze silver driver in your team for a load to answer that. I'm just going through what now this is a good one. WEC or ELMS? That's from WEC official. Want to know that?
All right. So basically, ELMS as the best in a way. So basically, ELMS as the best grid. It's 20 cars, which is crazy. It's hard to beat that. It's amazing. So congratulations to ELMS for that. We are the only ones we are racing overall, which is fantastic. So, sorry, WEC.
I'm looking at WEC. They're actually responding in live.
Yeah, I know.
Real
So
time.
there is a fight here. There is a fight here. I'm going to be BOP'd somehow. I need to choose wisely my words. So I really like LMS and it's nice. But WEC, okay, it has Le Mans. And WEC, it has a word that is super important for any race car driver. It says World Championship, and that's the ultimate goal. Sorry, LMS.
And as WEC's replied, we need to talk, Filipe.
Yeah, I know. I'm already in trouble. Because of you guys. Between you guys, you're putting me in trouble. It's crazy.
Oh my God, I'm actually laughing so much. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up there.
All right.
Yeah, on that last one with WEC, with that last WEC question. So just thank you so much for, giving us some time and just, being able to chat about your season, about WEC, about ELMS, more importantly. Yeah, so thank you for that. Do you have anything you want to add, anything you want to say, or anything you're, going to put out there?
Yeah, just don't people that are watching me on the Instagram or on my stories, and I'm on iRacing on simulator. Don't judge me on my pace. I'm just, I'm a family guy, and I'm racing against single guys. So basically, a guy with family is automatically a silver driver, right? And the guy that is single is automatically a gold driver because they can drive much more. So I'm feeling a little bit on backhand there, and my self-esteem of a badass race car driver is not at all there. So be gentle on me, guys. But yeah, stay safe. What I want to say as well is stay safe and stay at home. Try to respect what your country say to do, because the more we do at home, and each of us, it will be the best for us to go back to our normal lives.
Of course. Of course. Thank you for that. There is actually one more question I forgot.
Of
and I wrote it down. It was actually on Twitter.
All right.
I think you saw it. It's from a certain Mr. Dolan. Simon Dolan?
Yeah.
Ring any bells?
Yeah.
He wants to know, who is your favourite teammate?
Yes, Simon is a guy that I really miss a lot. I really miss a lot on racing, and I told him already to come back to racing, actually. And was one time I was trying to hook him up a drive in Daytona, because he never did Daytona, and he has to come back. We miss Simon Dolan on the products. It's someone that I really became a friend of him, and I enjoyed it like 2 years. We had great fun, him, and Harry Tinknell. And he's a teammate that I never forget, and a dear friend nowadays.
Okay, well, Simon, I hope you heard that. So come back, as he says. Thank you so much for this interview. Thanks a lot. As you say, stay safe, and we really look forward to seeing you in a car very, very soon.
Yeah, me too. You too, guys. I'm missing you a lot, everyone in there. Thanks a lot, and thanks for watching and putting your questions, and I can't wait to go back racing online.
Great, thank you very much. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.